Hey guys, so today we are going to be talking about Diary of the Wimpy Kid Rodrick Rules animated movie that came out this year, which is a sequel to the same animated movie that came out last year. Now, if you see my video on it, I did a review on the first one, like towards the end of November, back in November. I wasn't the biggest fan of that movie. I made a whole video. I thought it was cheap, lazy, and no passion was built in. So I thought when they're going to make the sequel that all of that would have been improved. Well, especially since it was 75 minutes, that they'd have a chance to put in like more stuff because the first one was only like 56 minutes. And unfortunately, they didn't take the opportunity to make it better. So first, let's get into the review. So first off, I thought that this would be at least a better improvement on the first one. This does not improve anything. You just can't compare these two together. This one and Rodrick Rules, they're the exact same. Nothing bad or nothing more gooder than each other. They're just the exact same. Just don't expect like anything better from this film. Maybe if you like this film, I don't know, maybe if you're like 6 years old or 8 years old or something watching this video, then you might like this. But listen, I did not like this movie. And just like and I didn't really think that the first one was like awful. I just thought it was just like really disappointing and stuff like that. In the long haul was garbage for sure. But this one is just the exact same, if not even worse. But it's probably not worst. If I'd pick it, it's definitely not worse. So first one, let's get into this. So first off, let's face it. This is a big issue with the movie that I see a lot of people complain. First off, so basically, this movie, this film is like, how long can we stretch the scene out to get into an hour? It gets really repetitive and boring. Like the film, it's really just it feels so first it starts off with a 2-minute explanation of why I should care about the characters, mostly Greg and Rodrick, because but really the biggest issue is that they just jump straight into things as if in the live action one they show of how Greg and Rodrick don't really get along, and then the party happens really good into the film. It happens good into the film. But in this one, it jumps straight into things because guess what? They needed whatever. Let's just get this over with, and let's just get the this is gonna be the opening. Let's just throw a party each other, and that's a 5-second thing in the intro, that clip of them fighting. Really, you don't even know. I mean, I do know what Greg and Rodrick's dynamics. I mean, I do, but I don't even know who Rodrick is from this universe. The first one was so short, you barely even saw him. But for a new viewer, none of this matters. So if you're a new viewer that's never been in Wimpy Kid and you're watching this, you don't even know who he even is. How are you supposed to And after that, in the party, just in the book, he's stuck in the basement. It's you just don't care. You don't really care about Greg being in the basement. You barely know where Rodrick is. You don't really care about Greg being in the basement. It's too short and there's no build up with these characters. And that's what really made me upset. I was just you really need to do better on these movies. I just don't like it. This is just disappointing. Next one I got off is another issue. Is that another part is that it's how repetitive it is. I honestly think that in this it's just so rushed. It's they just rushed this thing out by the end of they announced it last year, so they needed something to be out by 2022 December. And also I gotta tell you that Greg Rick and rolled in this. Fuck you. Seriously, he Rick and rolled. What is this? Oh, because people are going to go crazy for this. I went crazy. I was like, OMG. That is crazy. But that's that. Let's just get back to the issues. I'm really, that's not something I'm talking about. Is that also they go away for their anniversary again and they just get sent to their grandpa's retirement home out of nowhere. Is in the original live action movie in the book. like what happens that they get like Roger gets caught for the party, so then they get sent to a retirement home, but they just get sent to it out of nowhere, and there's no Holly, because in the original one there was Holly who was at the retirement home, but since they want to make it exactly like the books, since it was exactly like the books, they need to make it so Holly appears in the Last Straw movie. Yeah, like I'm gonna be excited for that. I'll probably make a review when it comes out, but I honestly think that these movies are just honestly just, and not, now let's get back to the movie. It's really, and like there's like everything, instead of like Holly, like Roderick chasing him, and since like Roderick doesn't have like the thing on tape is like in the original movie, like just like old ladies chasing him, like the peeping Tom part, instead of changing like in the original like book, it's about like peeping Tom and the security guard on it, but then it's just like a giant chase with the hallways with the old ladies and Greg. When they get home, Greg accidentally shows Roderick the pictures, and then in the end they end up getting grounded, because really, I mean, if you wanted to do the retirement home part, then what you should have done? Well, first off, you should have just not. This is what you should have done. You should just let them get caught first and go to the retirement home, not go to the retirement home first. That's just stupid, in my opinion. And another issue is that also, like, things in this movie just feel just really pushed in because they're in the original. So because in this movie they mention the talent show in a conversation, and that's at the end of this. It's like, oh, the talent show is the end of the thing. Let's just mention it real quick. But as well as in the original live action one, it's like it's on there. Roderick sees it on TV. It's building up as you go in the original one, and you could actually like care about it. But in this one, like, they just mention it real quick. You don't really care at all, unless the storyline. Well, it's Roderick and Greg are fighting. Then Roderick shows them the ways. Oh, then they have to split up. Oh, they come together at the end for the talent show. Then once in a while, Roderick still messes with him in the books. But like in the original like live action ones, they change it for a good story, and the relationship is much more better in the next movie, Dog Days. But but instead of changing it for a good story, they just need to make it like the books. They need to make it like these books as usual. Because I feel like that they need to make everything the same as the books. I just don't really like, this movie was just really disappointing in my opinion. I didn't hate the first one, and I didn't hate this one either. I mean, I know that like this movie, I know this movie is supposed to be made toward a younger audience. I know this movie is supposed to be made for a younger audience. I know that some of you are going to be like, well, it's for like, there's a Goo Goo Gaga, it's for little babies or whatever. It's for like Goo Goo Gaga, like little babies, or like 6-year-olds and 6-year-olds. This movie's for 8-year-olds actually. Which I don't really like it. That's who it's for. So some of you might be wondering, well, why are you just going to sit around and being mad as usual when animated movies nowadays are just really just put out and rushed together and don't have a good storyline to it? Some of you might be wondering, but I am just disappointed, and like I really just don't. Why I think that they make animated movies bad is just because babies are watching. I mean, are you going to make movies just bad and disappointing just because babies are watching? You're going to turn off you're going to turn off movie critics, you're going to turn off your other fans, your older fans, but honestly, just making these like really poor made movies. And like the animation is the exact same of the first one. There's nothing improved on it. I really just felt like after I was done watching this, I felt like after this one, I am not excited for The Last Straw. I'm probably going to make a video on it. But really, I don't think I'm too excited for this movie. To be honest, I'm just not excited for The Last Straw. And honestly, you know what I'd really say? I'd honestly have all hand-drawn movies. Nothing else. Like old 1900s animated movies. Then these cheap, awkward animations that they're making. It's so uninspired that's after 10. And I know I'm not saying this with happiness or whatever, but really, my final thoughts on this movie is that it was just disappointing. Nothing really, there is no reason to watch this like the first one. I don't really go recommend it. Really, it's just the same as the first one. Because really, you just don't, there's no reason to watch this movie. And why is there no reason? There's just no reason to watch it, because you don't need to watch this movie. If you've watched the live action movie in the first Diary of the Wimpy Kid, you're good. You don't, you've read the Diary of the Wimpy Kid, you're good. And just like this, if you read the Rodrick Rules book and watched the live action movie, you're good. You don't need to watch this. They just rush so many things, and it's really just more like, it was just really disappointing. The live action movies, except The Long Haul, because that was actually garbage, the live action movies, they did a good job of bringing, of feeling more like Wimpy Kid, and gave a good thing for their fans. It works for their fans. And fans like me of these books and so many others of these movies, it's just really, you end up just getting disappointed at what this CGI series has to like these these 3D animations that they offer are just disappointing, bad, slapped together, or just really forgettable. Like, I just really forget these movies just so quickly after I watch them, because they never do anything interesting with the source material. I think that they just honestly should have just really, if I honestly think that they should at least try. Like, I know the animation will probably still be weird, but they could at least make it okay. Like, if you want these movies to be okay, they're gonna have to try harder. But of course, since stupid babies are watching, they're gonna have to make it better so younger audiences will love it more. Yep. My final thoughts that this was a really disappointing. I thought it could be maybe okay, or maybe just not too bad or whatever, be better than the first, but it wasn't. It's really hard to compare, and that is why that this movie is just disappointing. So what rating will I give this movie? Well, this deserves a 4 out of 10. Yes, it's the rating that I gave the first one. Like, this is just a huge disappointment. Like I said, I'm not going to recommend this, because there's no need to watch it. If you've seen already the movies, then you're just good. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the video and see my review, and just try to make sure that you just go watch the live action movies instead. And also, I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye. Like and subscribe for more my content coming soon. I have more content coming soon of movie reviews and stuff like that. So hello guys. So goodbye guys. See you in my next video. Bye.